Hey gardeners, so right over my shoulder here we have our whole row of sweet potatoes in grow bags. I want to talk to you a little bit today about growing sweet potatoes. They're one of our favorite things to grow. In our Tulsa climate, they love heat, so they're very well adept to our season here. These guys are going to go in after your Irish potatoes, so after your unsweet potatoes. Those will go in the spring. For these guys, you want to wait until your soil temperatures get in the 70s or 80s. They're going to be much happier. They're sold in what's called a sweet potato slip, which is either just a seed potato or a little root looking structure that you just put in with a few leaves. We put these guys in earlier this year and we're now in August, so they're going to be about ready to harvest here within another month or two, so they're actively growing. The cool thing about any kind of potato, sweet potatoes included, is you can start them in just a few inches of soil, and then gradually as those plants grow, as you get more foliage coming out, you can backfill with soil along the stems, which is why I like to use the grow bags, because you can fold them over to where they're just about that tall, fill them with soil, get them started. As those potatoes grow, clip the lower leaves, fill in soil, raise the sides of the bags, and then more potatoes will grow along that stem. Now, as you can see here, I was pretty bad about backfilling mine because we actually have some in the surface coming up. And so these guys are going to be ready to go before we know it. So these potatoes are awesome. They're going to be delicious. Once you harvest them, you want to let them cure in kind of a cooler, dry place for about 7 to 10 days. While they're growing, you might actually get some beautiful flowers on them. They get these very pretty blossoms every once in a while. You can train the vines just like you would an ornamental sweet potato. Now, ornamentals aren't going to necessarily give you the sweet potato at the end. Most of the time, if you do get a potato, it's not going to be very tasty, nothing you'd want to cook. So if you're wanting good sweet potatoes that you're going to be able to store for fall and winter, these are going to be your best bet. You'll know when they're ready to harvest. Basically, in most climates, most of the time you're going to get your first frost. That's going to kill them off. You can harvest them earlier if you want smaller potatoes, but otherwise you can wait till you harvest them after that first frost. While they're growing like this, you can actually eat the leaves like spinach too. These are fully edible. You can cook them, you can add them to salads. So these are a great addition to any garden. You can also put them in ornamental flower boxes, just like you would the ornamental varieties. They'll look pretty in your garden. But the nice thing about these is then you get your sweet potatoes at the end of the season. Fun to grow, highly recommend, easy to grow in containers. Kids love them, love our sweet potatoes. We grow them every single year.